Raven.
And I'm Ahmaad.
And we're the Hoods. Welcome to the Hood Tales, where we take you through the ups, downs, and merry-go-rounds of millennial marriage. Today, we're going to talk about a few different things, but mostly what it means to defend and protect your spouse. If you know anything, unless you've been living under a rock for the past week, you know that Will Smith slapped the taste out of Chris Rock's mouth at the Oscars.
No taste buds.
No taste buds. Okay? And while we're not really going to dissect the slap itself and the repercussions, I want to primarily focus on the reason for the slap, because I feel like that's more important than anything else that anybody else is discussing these days.
It is.
So, because at the end of the day, I believe, and really where the action came from, is him defending and protecting his wife against a man who has a serial history of disrespecting his wife. Okay?
Yeah.
So what does protection look like?
A lot of people think that, like protecting your spouse is just like the physical. If a man, is trying to fight your wife, or a woman trying to fight your wife, or, vice versa, doing something to the husband. That's not always the case. It is, and people, women want to feel safe. But emotional protection is also a thing as well, that people, I feel like, overlook, and will cause, some disruption or dysfunction in your marriage if it's not checked properly. So for me, protection is physical and emotional and spiritual.
Well, you covered all the bases. You covered all the bases. I don't have anything else to add as to what protection looks like, because that you covered all of the bases. Like, truly, it is all the things. So with that, in what ways do you actively protect? Emotionally, physically, spiritually?
Physically, of course, I'm not gonna let anybody, harm you or just do anything to you.
Right.
Of course. And emotionally, I give you the space to feel your feelings with anything, about anything. It doesn't really matter. And those feelings won't be crushed or dismissed or not allowed to be expressed. And then spiritually, prayer every day. Mm-hmm. Making sure we're both covered. Mm-hmm. I believe, because we believe in, we have the same spiritual beliefs. Mm-hmm. I believe that making sure that we are both protected spiritually daily is a form of protection as well.
Okay. Fully agree with all those.
Do you have anything to add?
Emotionally, I feel like I protect you in the way of allowing you to feel your feelings. Mm-hmm. Because I think that is a form of protection. Is creating a safe space enough for you to be able to do that. Mm-hmm. And then I also protect you physically by, I will slap any and everybody. Although I don't ever have to. Yeah. Haven't ever had to. You say won't, because you never know. People is nuts. But I haven't ever had to, but I will fight anybody. Period. Spiritually, we definitely pray together every day. Yeah, I mean, the things that you said are things that we do for each other in the sense of protection.
Also, another for spiritually, warring on your partner's behalf, because there are things that your partner goes through that you probably may never know anything about. Some people deal with or the depth. Mm-hmm. Some people deal with depression. Some people deal with anxiety. Some people deal with even harming themselves. Mm-hmm. And they're still in relationships.
Yeah.
So protecting your spouse from the things that we don't see, you know, is another form of protection spiritually. And going to God, you know, on their behalf.
I like all of those examples. In what ways do we not get protection right? Like, do you think that's possible to not get protection right? Like, if you set out to protect your spouse and you don't get it right.
The only way I can see like protection would be perceived wrong is if I'm jumping the gun before you get a chance to do it yourself. Because you don't always need me to step in.
So playing Captain Save-A-Ho.
Yeah. And vice versa.
Yeah.
You know, so I feel like that definitely can be a thing. But I feel like that can be resolved as long as your partner can understand your intent. And that way it can actually be worked out. So then when it's discussed, you can make the necessary adjustments to be like, okay, I see that, you know, she or he may not need protection.
Right away, or in this instance.
Yeah. I can allow them to be able to fight their own battles, depending on what it is.
I think for me that was one of the biggest parts about the slap, is that people, of course, are upset about a lot of different things. Like, I feel like the major basis of it is the utter disrespect that has continued to fly out of Chris Rock's mouth over the years. Because I didn't even know the history of her being the butt of his jokes for so long until this very moment. I mean, the only thing I vividly remembered was the 2016 Oscars. And that's about it. Like, that's the only thing I remember.
That.
I remembered it.
Forgot. Because I watched it, of course.
Yeah.
But I forgot later on.
I remembered it. But that is the only thing I knew. But I didn't know. Also, I couldn't tell you not a single Chris Rock joke other than is crack-a-lacking from the Madagascar. But that's another story.
Madagascar would be funny.
Yes, but like, you know, I couldn't tell you nothing Chris Rock be saying joke-wise if he's not hosting an award show like that. Because I'm not a fan of his comedy.
Or Everybody Hates Chris.
And was that really for him? Because I mean, that was Tyler James Williams.
True.
That made that funny, and the cast. That wasn't necessarily him.
No, his narration was funny.
I guess his narration really wasn't that funny to me. It was the act that was going on. But maybe his life is just funny. But besides the point, was the utter disrespect. And I think that, you know, everybody's like, you know, oh, it's a joke, it's a joke, it's a joke. Your joke may be funny, but it can also get you slapped.
Yeah.
And
my daddy can tell me that my whole life.
Listen, and I think it's very interesting because, you know, when it comes to protecting his spouse, I think that the basis of it for me was Jada was clearly annoyed. Immediately annoyed when the joke left his mouth. And people were like, oh, you know, Will chuckled, Will laughed. And I said, well, to me, it didn't look like a ha-ha, this is funny. It looked like a celebrity polite chuckle. Because at these award shows, people are always the butt of the jokes. Mainly the nominees. But, like, that's not unusual. At any award show, the Grammys, the BET Awards, it don't really be mattering. Like, whoever is a nominee is usually the butt of the joke. But when you take the time to utterly disrespect my partner in front of me,
yeah, we go.
And you have a history of doing such, you better be glad the only thing I did do was slap you.
Yeah, you gonna have to see me.
Cause that keep my wife's name. He wouldn't have fully understood, I don't believe, had Will just yelled that. Had Will just yelled, keep my wife's name out your mouth without hitting him, he would have laughed it off. I don't want you to know this is not a laughing matter. And when you let people get away with certain stuff for too long, that is when you go crazy. That's when you burst. I feel like.
I get it.
I feel like that is when you burst, because from my understanding, at least from like, you know, all of the internet investigators that have brought up all of these wrongdoings of Chris Rock after the fact, is like they were never in the room when these jokes were being made. They were never in the room. So it's one thing to, like, you know somebody got your wife's name in your mouth.
Facts.
Versus to do it in front of you.
Yeah.
And with the perception of, do we always get protection right, people are arguing, you know, whether or not it was the right time and place, whether or not it even warranted the slap. And what we don't know, and what we should never know, is how Jada feels about it. From every camera angle that I have seen after the slap, before, like, the only clip we have seen of Jada is before the slap, when she's clearly annoyed, and when Will gets his Oscar. Yeah, that they share a moment before he goes on stage. Yeah. We did not see her face after the fact. I saw where Denzel Washington went and like put his arm around her after the fact, but we do not know how she felt about it. We don't know how she feels about it, and we shouldn't, because the only person who gets to have an opinion as to whether the protection that was done is right is the other spouse that was being protected. Because at the end of the day, Will ain't got an answer to nobody else but her.
Fact.
But her.
Fact.
Point blank, period. Like, we can argue about whether it was right, whether it was warranted, all you want to. But as long as she feels protected by the man that vowed to protect her, hush. Hush. Utterly and truly hush.
Keep it on the shutter.
Utterly and truly hush. And I feel like there are times where we don't get it right. But like, who cares what anybody else has to feel about it?
Now, could the situation have been handled differently? Sure. But also at the same time, those were that was Will's reaction and his decision at the end of the day. You not Will, I'm not Will. We all may have had different, reactions to said situation. It is what it is. But at the end of the day, protect your spouse.
Against any and everybody. Your mama, your friends, whoever. Like, the protection is necessary.
Very.
Because people will try you.
Very much so.
Whether intentionally or unintentionally, they will try you. Because I don't, alopecia aside, Jada was not a nominee.
True.
Had the joke even been about the entanglement, I might have let it fly.
And even in the fact that,
which is a whole other story.
I understand that.
I don't even want to go into that. And I'm only calling it entanglement because that's what she did, okay? Because I have my own perspective on that as well.
Yeah, but we'll later date. But,
you just watched the D.
I did. God.
We'll pivot.
Okay.
How do you repair it if your spouse feels like the protection was done incorrectly? Because we've had a few situations where because it is in your heart and your nature to jump to protect me, that it hasn't always been I have not always felt like I needed to do that in that very moment. So how have we worked away from or worked through the, I don't want to say wrongdoing because that's not what it is, but the hastefulness of protection?
I think it's just simple as having a conversation and being like, hey, I appreciate, what you were doing, the sentiment that it was, or the gesture that it was, but in this moment I didn't need that. I can stand on my own 2 feet, and I think for men a lot of the time they can get that wrong, because women don't always need our protection right away. You know, you have to allow if you always running to the aid of your spouse for everything, they won't always get to see that, you know, hey, I can stand on my own 2 feet, or, you know, I can lift this issue or this problem or whatever. Like, they won't be able to see that they have their own strength as well, and then they can lean on your strength if they're weak.
I like it. I think it's definitely a case. I like a Picasso. I think it is definitely a case-by-case thing, because we have been in a situation in which you did need to step in. Because I think my general rule of thumb is whoever is the connecting party to the other is the one that needs to be the one to step in.
Yeah.
Like, nobody has ever said anything crazy to either of us about the other, just to other people that knew that they would get back to us. You know what I'm saying? And I think in that I think it's a great rule of thumb, because I don't think I would ever go to one of your family members directly without either I don't think I would do that anyway, because one is your family,
same,
and I'm not going to have the same level of gentle and care as you would with your own family if I was the one that felt like I had been done wrong,
and vice versa.
Point blank period. Because at the end of the day, them your people.
Yeah.
And I'm a feeling herder, okay? And I don't do that. I don't handle disrespect very well in any way, shape, or form, to me or to people that I love and care for.
Sure.
I don't handle that well at all. Because you disrespect me, baby, you go low, I'm going to hell. I'm going to hell. And if that includes slapping the taste out your mouth, that's what it includes.
Hey.
That's truly what it includes. And it's, you know, it's very interesting because people are like, you know, the joke didn't warrant that. I watched you fools fight at 7:20 a.m. over blazing and your mama jokes.
At school.
At school! Y'all was whooping, I'm about to cuss. Y'all was whooping each other nass at 7:20 a.m. on a Monday morning.
Mondays.
On a Monday morning. Because somebody said your mama.
Hey.
And now it's not okay. Now it's just, it didn't warrant that. Y'all was kicked out of school for fighting for less.
And I mean, I get that, you know, we're adults now, so like you have a more mature mind and, you know, whatever.
True, but some people still need to get slapped.
Facts. Because for every action, there's a reaction. Very true. And just because you said a joke about me, don't mean that I'm going to counter with a joke.
You know, and even later on, because I feel like people, this didn't happen. Well, part of it didn't. So later on in the show, post-slap, I believe, Amy Schumer, ain't that her name? Schumer? I don't know. She made a joke about seat fillers. Because we were still watching it. She made a joke about seat fillers. Yes, and I was thinking about this when I was scripting this episode. She made a joke about seat fillers. And the white dude from Like Mike, the bully guy, I don't know his name, but y'all know who I'm talking about. The bully dude from Like Mike, she kicked his wife out of her seat and called her a seat filler.
To her face. To her face.
And he was like, well, I don't know if she knew, but I will say that he was like, once she handed him the mic, he was like, you know that's my wife. Now, had that white woman turned around and slapped Amy.
Because that was blatantly.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's only an issue because Will is who he is and smacked Chris Rock at the Oscars.
Because if that was any other comedian that slapped Chris Rock, y'all wouldn't have cared.
But not only that, more traumatizing things have happened at the Oscars, but that's not on the list, okay?
Hey, yeah.
But, like, had she slapped her, fully warranted.
Yes.
I think that everything, I'm not one to say what is warranted and what is not.
Neither am I.
Because I talk crazy quite often. Not anymore because I've grown and I've matured. But, like, I can't talk crazy.
She still talk crazy.
Okay. And if somebody slapped me up for something I said, I'm going to slap you back. But that's just the point. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not one to say what is warranted behavior as to what you feel like needs protecting. I can't say what would have happened if we were in that situation.
Right.
Now, because I know you would have yelled, keep my wife's name out your mouth.
Right. But also,
I don't know if you would have gotten up.
I might have got up. I might have got up, and I may not have hit that man, but I may have came over to him and be like, hey, after this award show over, my boy, don't leave, okay? Meet me in the back by dressing room A. Make sure you got your Nikes on, your loafers, whatever. Because you're going to have to see me. We're going to have to squabble.
I am now to the point in my adulthood life that I'm not letting nothing slide. Because I feel like, don't ever try me. Don't ever try me. Because the fact that you thought the joke was funny, and the joke got you slapped. Joke or not, keep my wife's name out your mouth.
Because you can joke about me all day. Please tell a fat joke. Because I probably already got 6 in my arsenal for myself. Okay? Please. But leave my wife alone. Because that's the one thing. It's people I want to fight to this day. It's that is the one thing that you don't mess with. I can play about anything else. But leave my wife alone. I think what people tend to forget is that, you know, in the vows, like, your duty is to protect your spouse, like, with any way, shape, or form. And it can be challenging to do, no matter whether you are in the limelight or not. Like, nobody wants to correct their mama. Nobody wants to draw a line in the sand with any person that you had close relationship with pre-marriage or earlier on in a marriage, because they have now said or done something and you like, oh, you can't be around us no more. Because there is a bubble. Not even a bubble. There is a cement wall around our marriage, in which there is an entryway that only certain people can have access to. Like, the minute that you come in or are throwing bombs at said wall, you now got to go you got to be put away. Because I can't have it. I can't have it no way, shape, or form. And that also includes randoms like Chris Rock having my spouse's name in your mouth. Touche.
Because, and I also feel like it's also very interesting because I'm not physical altercation, right? Like, you know, things can go a lot of different ways. But like, I also feel like if a man was disrespecting me in your presence and you did not swing, now I'm rethinking everything. Because is you pussy? Like, what? Like, why are you not therefore taking action? And not even just physically aside, but like, if Will didn't say nothing after we clearly saw Jada was irritated, I can only imagine the way in which she would have felt for the rest of the evening and for time to come.
Get that. But also, I thought about it because, let's say...
Because she said that before on Red Table Talk.
Oh, but I thought about it in the fact of, let's say Will said nothing at that moment. Mm-hmm. Because it wasn't on camera. All of this that happened was on camera.
It was live.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. I know. But let's say he said something after the fact. Or behind stage. Mm-hmm. The whole perception would have just been that Will, he a pussy.
But see, I think for me, this is where it gets tricky. Because of course we're dissecting a situation that we're not in. But I think when it comes to protecting your spouse, for me it is a matter of, you know, our mom used to say it to us all the time. You know, you act a fool with me in public, I'm gonna act a fool with you right there. And for me, if you are therefore going to say something that clearly disrespected her, I think it would have been different had Jada chuckled, had Jada not looked irritated. Because had she just chuckled, or like, you know what I'm saying, like, I don't think that we would have necessarily known she felt disrespected in that moment. And I think that's what makes a difference. Because had she chuckled, who's to say that he would have got up and slapped her? You know what I'm saying? Like, if she would have laughed it off, and then after the fact told Will, like when they got home that it irritated her, and she like kept her composure in the moment, then I don't think this slap would have ever happened. And I think that's where the getting to him behind closed doors would have made a difference. But also, she was clearly irritated in the present.
Yeah. In
the present. Because even, you know, there's all this talk about Russell Wilson is being called a square and corny by 36-year-old niggas. 36 and up. And y'all is 40. Called this grown man with a career, a wife, and children a square. And it's very odd behavior. But like, let Russell slap one of them. Is it a problem now? This man's name been in everybody's mouth for years. For years. Also, another note, Sierra better than me. Because I would have popped up at some of these fools by now. But that's also just me and my temperament. Because you ain't going to keep having my husband's name in your mouth. And I'm not going to be calling you no dusty turtle looking nug on the internet. You ain't going to keep talking about my husband like you crazy. But that's also just me. You know what I'm saying? I don't like that. I don't like it not one bit.
But you're also a confrontational person.
I'm not confrontational.
No.
Just keep my husband's name out your mouth.
No. You are.
I'm not confrontational. I don't go out seeking confrontation. That doesn't make me confrontational.
That doesn't make you not confrontational either.
No. I'm not confrontational. It's just that when confrontation arises, I'll meet it. That doesn't make me confrontational. You just don't like confrontation.
No. You first of all, you didn't let me get that out of my mouth because I was gonna say that. I don't mind it as long as we fair. I don't like emotional confrontation.
I guess. At the end of the day, slap whoever you need to slap.
If it's
to protect your. I'm not one to say whether it's warranted or not. Slap whoever you need to slap to protect your spouse.
Oh, that's what you was going. Okay.
That's what I can't say what it's warranted.
No. I didn't let you finish.
I didn't slap people for less.
I didn't let you finish when you said slap who you need to slap. I inserted before you finished.
Yeah, slap whoever you need to slap to protect your spouse.
Because you just said slap whoever you need to slap. Like, you don't just be walking.
No, that's a generic statement as well. Slap whoever you need to slap. If more people got slapped for talking crazy in the world would be a better place.
It would be an empty place.
My point exactly.
That don't mean it would be better. It would just be empty.
No, it'd probably be better because people that would get slapped would realize, oh, I can get slapped for this.
Because people can get slapped often.
I bet you Chris Rock keep Jada's name out his mouth. He slapped it smooth off her tongue. I'm off his tongue. I fully believe it.
We'll see.
I fully believe it.
Yeah, we'll see.
At the end of the day, do whatever you feel is warranted to protect your therefore spouse. Because at the end of the day, the only person that you have to answer to is them. Because you coming 10 toes down behind me.
Every time.
As am I. And I think that that's the point. Because is there a valid arena in which justifying and protecting your spouse, only certain actions are warranted?
I don't think so.
Then the slap was justified.
I never said it wasn't.
Oh, I thought you were saying that it wasn't warranted.
No. I just told you. You just said slap who you need to slap.
Oh, yeah,
and I said what I needed to say.
Yeah.
You know, how
but that was my, because that just gets me so irritated. Everybody like, he ain't have to slap him.
No.
I can't say that.
No. I can't say that
because, see, especially because we only know the things that have been said on camera. They have been celebrities well before social media.
Touche.
We don't know what kind of cash craziness Chris Rock has said
off camera
that has not been caught on camera.
Right.
Like, we truly do not. That was my hood highlight. Do you have anything else to add?
Are you upset with me?
No, it just get me heated because
because you looking at me and my face.
It just get me heated because I couldn't imagine you not being 10 toes down for me in any arena.
Just because I don't put my hands on you, or I don't take action on what needs to be taken action on, that means I'm pussy, and that's not the case. Because it takes it takes a whole lot more to walk away than it do for me to. I can easily put my hands on you.
Yeah.
Easily.
Yeah.
Also, do you know how much stuff you talk on a day-to-day basis? My wife has a mouth. A mouth. Okay? So, I'm not
I don't be talking cash crazy though. Like I don't be talking into situations that.
I mean, you also don't be talking.
On people.
Yeah, but you also don't be talking to me cash crazy.
But I'm just talking about other people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I don't know.
But my hood highlight is protect your spouse. And whatever form that looks like. If it's a slap, if it's a kick, whatever you need to do to protect your spouse at the end of the day, have at it. Okay? Because I ain't finna judge you about it. Because at the end of the day, it's on you.
Period. I fully agree. I said my hood highlight without saying that was my hood highlight. But, you know, protect your spouse against your mama, friends, men that just need to be slapped, and women that may also just need to be slapped. You know, that's all I got. All right, y'all. Bye.